Hello everyone, this is Juan Sarmiento and today is Friday, December the 3rd. Okay, here is my performance. As we approach the end of the year, our negative year has turned into positive with $4,416 as of right now in profits. Okay, I didn't expect that, but in a way you sort of expect that something good is going to happen, and you can only keep on doing what you're doing. And there are a series of steps that we follow in this channel to make sure that we stay in the market. And sometimes it takes a long time of the grind. You slowly keep on doing the trading until something like this happens, a big spike in the volatility, and then you get your profits. Okay, sometimes it is all about simply doing the mechanics. If the markets go slowly higher, that sometimes is a challenge. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to enter any new trades, because look at the VIX here. Let me just take a quick look. Is here at 31. That's more than the average. The average should be about 20, 25. So that means we have a high IV. That means it could go higher like this. It's done it before, but we're not going to risk it. We just do our mechanics here to make sure that we lock in our profits and continue on playing the game. And look at our account here. It says open buying power. We have $40,000 that we could use to enter new trades. Can't do it right now because the volatility is high. What we can do right now is try to collect profits whenever possible, neutralize our deltas, and see what we need to do. Let's go to each trade here, starting with Apple. So I click here and go to the Analyze tab. And if you have this yellow marker here and here, that's what is going to show up, your Apple trade. Okay, you can go to the Monitor tab and see, organize your trades here so far this year alphabetically, and then we see that Apple is right now, our account is holding a position that is $2,140. Year to date, we're close to $100 loss. That could change, obviously, and it probably will change. But in the meantime, let's go to the Analyze tab, and you see we're delta positive, but just a bit, and that's fine with me. Because if the stock market continues to decline and Apple goes along, my Vegas will give us some profits. But if Apple goes higher from here, bounces back up, we will make money. So we don't need to change anything. All we need to do is make sure that our deltas are no more than 30. 16.9 is perfectly fine. Okay, I'm just saying a 30 to just say a number. It's not written in stone. And take a look at the chart here. We have the Ichimoku cloud below, which means the stock could go test that and then bounce. The stochastic is pointing down, so, and the volatility is increasing, and that's good for our trade regardless of whether the stock goes up or down, because volatility, we have 66 Vegas, which means for every single point in volatility, we make $66. So imagine if it goes up 10 points in the Vega, well, make the math. 66 times 10 is $660. Okay, so regardless of whether the stock goes up or down, but the Vegas is likely to increase if the stock declines, pardon me. Okay, let's go to CRM. Oh, I don't have any trades here. I don't know why it's showing. It's in the trade tab. That's funny. Let's go to the Monitor tab and see if we have a CRM trade. Oh, I'm sorry. This is favorites. That's not the right label. Let's go look at current account positions. Okay, that's better. I do not have a CRM, but Apple we did have. Okay, I see Oracle is expiring and WFC is expiring. That's what that means, in the money, expiring in the money. We'll deal with this in a minute. Let's go to Abbott. And let's take a look at the chart. It's been moving slowly higher. Volatility spiked really hard now. You remember when I entered this trade, well, this is a stock that is a blue chip. Volatility is unlikely to go too high. Look at this. And this is the beauty of the market declining strongly with high volatility, because even the low volatility stocks spike in volatility. Well, okay, let's take a look at the Analyze tab. Okay. I have two trades, okay, the original plus a rollover. So if we say hide positions, it gives you the profits we've made on this Abbott trade. Confirm that by going to the Monitor tab, Account Statement, and then look at Abbott here. And then you see that so far this year, 1462. Disregard this P&L from the open because we already made a rollover and that distorts this number. But this number is real and confirms my observation here that we have 1487 in profits. Okay, let's hide that, hide the simulations, and this is our actual trade. The deltas are 61.27. Okay, so you could neutralize deltas how? By selling calls. However, I only sell calls when the stock has gone above the Ichimoku, above the smiley face. Sorry, I'm confusing my things here, my names. Okay, so when and if it goes above 134, then we can sell stuff. Okay, unless you say, well, you know, the volatility is really high now, let's get out. If that's how you want to approach it, fine. I would say make sure that the volatility index for this particular, the implied volatility here, is 40 or more. I would say that's, you know, when I start thinking, hey, that's a high volatility, let's get rid of our position. I don't feel an urge to do that. But that's something you should keep in mind, that if you say, no, I'm happy with the profits, $1,400 is good enough, let's get out. All right? You could do that. All right, look at the volatility, 33.29. That's not high volatility. It is for a stock like Abbott, which is a blue chip. Let's move on to COP, that's ConocoPhillips. And we have made some adjustments here so that we have 5 short calls, 8 long calls. So it's negative. See, the difference between short and calls is 3 versus the put is 6 minus 10 minus 6 is 4. Okay, so there is a relative advantage, and that makes our deltas a little negative, but it's very kind of neutral. So how would you neutralize this? Well, you could sell one more put, but I don't feel like it because we are over here well above the strike price. So a fall into this area could give us theta gains as well. And it's relatively delta neutral. Okay, so we're going to count on that. Let's move on to HD. HD has been moving very strongly lately. Let's go to the Monitor tab and see how many orders have we filled. We just have the original. Okay, so let's analyze that. And you have it already here. You don't really need to see the analysis of the simulation, but if you did, this is what you would get. You see the profit is 1,064.95. Okay, so if you say high simulation, it's exactly, well, not quite. It should be the same. I'm not sure why. It must be the bid and ask is a little weird. But this is the profit is $1,000. Okay, delta quite neutral here. We are in the center of the cone. So if the stock didn't do anything here, we could continue to accumulate theta gains. Let's look at a quick chart here, and the earnings were good and all that. The stock is up here compared to most of my stocks are considerably lower. This is holding its own here. But volatility is large, okay? So keep that in mind. The volatility may be a reason enough to get out of this position. I suspect that there is more volatility to come, and so I decide to hold. Okay, let's wait until next week, then make a decision. Lows here we have, let's see, 3 long calls. We have 4 puts at 200. I'm trying to think here what to do. The 200 calls are neutralized each other. Okay, so this is really what we have. Our puts here are at 200, way below us. Okay, so let's take a look at a chart and I say, I want to sell something. I want to neutralize these deltas. Okay, how would you do that? Well, we have a 250 long call here. Well, we can sell one. We can say, analyze trade. No. Let's just say I create a closing order and then I'll alter that. Okay. I could simply exit that 250. But if I did that, if I just exit that 250, then it becomes very negative, delta negative. So, but if we sold a higher strike price, then it's not so negative. Well, it's still pretty negative, I should say, but you get to $610 out of that sale. Okay, let's do that. It becomes a very straight, but let's sell one. In reality, is a vertical spread like this, but because you have the puts on top, then it looks like this. The puts would have to stop, go to 200 to make those puts appreciate, but you have this calendar call. Let me just show you the calendar here. That's what the calendar looks like, which is also quite bearish. Okay, so overall, we have a bearish position. If the stock continues to go down, then we could make some additional money. All right, let's take that as a chance. Let's go to Oracle. Pretty darn delta negative. Well, let's take a look at the chart. Yeah, look, they're reporting earnings, so you really need to either get out of the position or neutralize it, and I'm going to neutralize it rather strongly. How do we do that? Well, sell puts that expire a week from now. No, we need to actually roll that over. Okay, so we could sell some of our long puts and they are more valuable anyway. But I'm not going to sell them all. Let's start with one and we see, yeah, that reduces our delta to minus 40 from minus 110. If we do 2 of them, then it becomes delta positive. And I sort of like that in this situation. We're going to get quite a bit of money. And then go to the monitor tab and see how much we have in the value of this trade. Is 6,472. So I'm going to get what? A small portion of it. Okay, so let's start by selling that. And then we do a rollover as well. Analyze rolling. You can do this and rolling, and then it turns it more delta neutral there. Okay, let's do the rollover first. Not to December, let's go a little further to January the 7th. Okay, still delta, quite a bit delta negative. So let's fill this in and then we do the additional puts. Okay, first the rollover. And that gives us a lot of money back, even when it gets filled. And then we can add this short or sell of 3 or so puts. Okay, I'm going to change this. Well, it should get filled shortly. You know why? It's so far out of the money that it's going to have trouble filling out. So let's do this in a different way. Let's cancel that. And let's do the put side first. Analyze rolling. And change it to January the 7th. And that's $1. Okay. This is step 1. And that rollover makes our trade slightly different. Okay, let's see. Analyze trade. Okay, that's great because that's gonna, without it, it's 108, so that increases our delta in the negative side. Decreases it, makes it more negative, is what I mean. Okay, now this we change to calls. And that's 89 cents we get out of that. $445. And that filled right away. The call side. Okay. So let's try and make sure the put gets filled. Okay. We can change it, cancel the replace, and reduce it a little bit. Something like 95, that should fill. Okay, in the meantime, we can increase our puts here, decrease our puts, and that makes it very negative. Very positive, that is neutralized. Let's just sell 2 to neutralize my deltas a little bit. Okay. Okay, perfect. Minus 13. Even when the call side fills, I mean the put side, then it's still delta negative, and then we can sell 1 more put. Okay, let's arrange this to get filled so I can demonstrate this to you. Okay, you can reduce the credit to 91 or something. And let's just wait. In the meantime, I'll come back to it, okay? Let's go back to SPG, Analyze Trade. And this is December the 17th. There's a long way to go. Delta is fairly neutralized. Okay, let's look at the chart. That could go still lower. Our strike price is 165. The stock is trading at 148. I'm going to leave it, but at some point I'm going to do the rollover or roll down in this case, which will be to sell the April 165 put and buy a lower one, 145, at the same expiration. Okay, right now doing that will make it strongly delta positive. I don't feel that that's a good idea right now. Right here it looks fine. Okay, let's move on. And in this case we have Teradyne. This stock, let's take a look at the chart. Oh, that looks like it's going down maybe. It opened higher and it's now going down. Okay, delta is fairly neutral. I like that. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's fine right now. If it goes down to 130 and lands in this cone, it'll be fine. But if it continues higher, we'll be fine too. So I don't need to change anything on that. Let's go to UPS. UPS is already neutral, as you can see here. No need to change anything. December 31st is the expiration, so we're fine. Now Wells Fargo. Looks like I have 11 calls negative. It's pretty delta positive. Let's take a look at the chart. Looks like that's going to go down again. Ugh, this is a hard chart to read. It's just in the Ichimoku cloud. It could definitely break down, but it could also bounce from this support. It did bounce here. Let's take a look at the chart again. I think this is fairly neutral despite the high deltas. How would you make this delta more negative? By selling calls, and they are very close to 50. So if I was to sell one call, a nice closing. Let's just put one, sell one. Then this turns out a little not to my liking. But if you go like this, let's take a look at the chart. This is not very helpful. Really, it could move either way. Really, this is a triangle, and that means that it could move strongly lower and strongly higher, and I'd rather not do anything. Leave it the way it is. It's very strongly delta positive, but a decline would make it delta negative. So that's it. Let's go back to the stock that I was trading. It's Oracle. And let's reduce 5 cents more. And nothing happens. Okay, let's go to the Analyze tab. All I need to do now is delta negative is to sell one more put. Let's just sell one more put. Delta negative, let's sell one more put. Just one. And I'll make sure that you see, if I do that right now, it turns delta positive too strongly. I don't like that. I want to be delta neutral. This should have filled, but it's so far from the money. You see it's trading at 88 and this is 95. Should really have filled. Let's reduce by 3 more. Okay, all I'm gonna do is wait here. I'm gonna keep this platform open and I'm waiting for that eventual move. Let's go to the trade tab and look at the active positions here. The active trader, which is, I double click here and I have the Dow Jones down 140.74. The Nasdaq has been declining rather strongly, and the Delta, the SPY not so much, not as much, but the Nasdaq is leading the way down. We are sort of, it seemed like we're closer to the bottom here, but the stochastic is not giving me a buy signal yet. Let's look at the Dow Jones here. I double click here and I'm gonna set my studies. I have several study sets here. Very well. Here. That's perfect. You see the volatility is spiking up and down. This is below the Ichimoku cloud, which is very suggestive of a declining market going forward, but it's done it before. So the Ichimoku cloud needs to turn red and then keep on going down, but this could bounce from here. So I think I'm gonna call it a day here. I can't really add much more other than this, which is not filling, and I will keep an eye on it. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for joining me and see you next time. Bye bye.